Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Brazil Climate Summit Paris 2025. My name is Bernardo Porto Valadares, and I am an MBA student at INSEAD. On behalf of our entire team here, I'm delighted to welcome you all, both our audience here and those joining online. Here we're going to have a great session today. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few guidelines. This event is fully booked, so we kindly ask you not to reserve seats in the auditorium. Due to time constraints, there will be no Q&A session. Wi-Fi is free, and the password is next to the coffee station right outside. This event is being live streamed, so feel free to share the link from our website with anyone unable to attend in person. After the coffee break, we will have our roundtables. If your badge has a green sticker on it, you are signed up for the theme reforestation. If your badge has a red sticker on it, you may go to the hydrogen room. The rooms are both in the same floor, and they have signs at the door in front of it. But anyways, please make sure you go to the room before the station starts, and our team is also available to assist you. The BCS reception will follow the event 6 p.m., and we'll be happy to chat and celebrate 2025's edition BCS Paris. And finally, please feel free to take photos and share them on social media tagging at Brazil Climate Summit. Now that we have covered the essentials, I'm thrilled to see such a great audience gather here today. Together, we will explore Brazil's leadership in climate solutions and its potential to serve as a global hub for climate innovation. I hope we can leave this summit inspired, energized, and committed to action. Last but not least, I want to thank you, our sponsors and partners who made this day possible. Ativus, Vale, A10 Invest, Sigma Lithium, Arapiaú, and Hoffman Institute. And to start the day, I'd like to invite INSEAD Deans Francisco Veloso to welcome you all to Brazil Climate Summit.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's absolutely delighted to be here today representing INSEAD as the academic partner. It's my second time, so well, I didn't start all that much before as a dean, and so it would be difficult to be before that. It's also the second time we're having here, and I'm here because it is important, and it is important because of what we do, and it's important because of what Brazil is doing and what can do more, and this is precisely on the back of what you were saying, and that I'll talk to about, how Brazil is doing so many interesting things that it's worthwhile for us to reflect, to think, and to push forward. And this is a particular year, let's put it this way, in terms of the role of Brazil on climate change and on pushing for a more sustainable world. And, business schools have a very important role to play. Often we think about how what are the new solutions for climate and how we're going to implement them. And of course, a lot of them have a technical element. But when we think about, climate and sustainable solutions that can have impact the world, we need scale, we need organization, we need deployment. And we cannot do that without management, without leadership, without financing, without marketing, without a lot of things that business schools, know how to do and can contribute to. And so if we think, and that's certainly the view that INSEAD has, that we need to head our world into a more sustainable journey, we need to be at the forefront of identifying, deploying, and communicating those solutions. And that's why we're here, and that's why we're doing these also in partnership to think about what we can do together, and what we can do together, not only in terms of what happens in Brazil, but how you can connect Brazil to other parts of the world, and in this case, to connect it to Europe, to try to find, ways to push this agenda forward. And, this is quite important for us and something that we're doing here, but we're also doing in a few other ways, and I'll mention that in a second. But before doing that, I do want this to also congratulate. I mean, this is a 100% student-led initiative, and I want to really very much thank and congratulate the students for the determination, the passion, the drive to really put it together, invite the speakers, bring everybody here, organize, and for how you firmly believe on how we can, working together, make a difference for the planet and have INSEAD, be at the heart of that transformation. And I also want to thank, of course, the help that we're having throughout INSEAD to make it happen. While I get the honor of opening these, it's the team that pushes it forward, and certainly Felipe Monteiro sitting right there, and also Cattell and Maria and the Hoffman Institute, have also been instrumental to put it together. Not to speak, of course, about the fact that we have many of our alumni that are coming here to contribute to these, including Marcelo Paiva, MBA 03, Bruno Serapião, MBA 02, Antonio Uras, MBA 97, and of course the Alumni Association of Brazil, and the partners that at Visa that are really helping to push us forward, and of course many other alumni that are here. And this is important, as I was saying, because Brazil is already in many instances doing phenomenal projects that is important for the world to understand, but also there are things that are happening elsewhere in the world that can be brought to Brazil. And this is the opportunity for us to discuss and to talk about those and to find the opportunities to connect. And this is particularly important this year because of COP30 and the road to COP30. I mean, INSEAD has had a long relationship with Brazil for many years, a very active alumni community, almost 2,000, right? And Antonio, you something, give or take, and there are a number that's been growing every year. We continue to have a very strong participation, and of course that would not be possible to have that determination if we didn't have a strong community that would be contributing there. And this summit is timely because it happens a few months before the COP summit, and precisely because we believe that this is making a difference, that we want to push it forward in important ways. So in September, and it's not just what's going to happen around COP. In September, we're going to be at Station F with the Advanced Management Program, to talk about what are we doing with Brazil. We're then going to be partnered with Dom Cabral to do something back in Brazil around the COP, first in September right here, but then in October in Brazil, where we want to, and we are partnering with the Fundação Dom Cabral to do something in São Paulo as part of our Global Executive MBA Key Management Challenge initiative that we have over there, and around which we're going to do a variety of initiatives. And I was already talking with Antonio and with Bruno about how we can combine it to do also things within our alumni community. And this connection that we have to Brazil, is not just about the past and the present, but it's also about the future. We've started this year an important collaboration with Suzano that is supporting a variety of projects related to sustainability, both on the climate side, but also how do we create a more shared prosperity together. And we had, for example, Karel and Subi that were two of our faculty members that were just in Brazil last couple of weeks to explore what we can do there. Henrik Grev is working with Marcelo and writing a case study on A10, which is a very nice step to show some of the wonderful initiatives that are happening there. And our case on WEG will be launched later this year, also on our our journey to COP30. And so you can see that there's a lot of initiatives. This is one instance of that initiative, but it's really something that is a commitment of INSEAD to a more sustainable world, to our connection to Brazil, both historically, but more importantly to what we're doing now and what we want to do in the future. And to close, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Brazilian Chamber of Commerce and the Brazilian Embassy, who have been integral partners in putting this together and in our collaboration with Brazil. And we're honored to join them here. And we have Philippe Lecourtier, president of the Chamber of Commerce of Brazil in France, and France's former ambassador to Brazil here to support us as well. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for the speakers and the contributors. Delighted to be here. Congratulations again to the students for the initiative, and I wish everybody a wonderful afternoons of discussions, reflections, and very, very importantly, road to COP, but more importantly even, a road to action. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the partnership, Dean Francisco. It's a true honor to be one of the students here, the team, representing INSEAD as co-organizers, as well as Brazil Climate Institute. Now I'd like to call Jorge Argrave, Director at Maraé Investments and co-founder of Brazil Climate Summit. Please, Jorge.
Bonjour, good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to welcome you here once again in this beautiful city for the second Brazil Climate Summit Paris. It's hard to believe it's been already 4 years in this journey since we began organizing this type of gatherings, starting in New York and last year doing our first edition here in Paris. These are spaces for dialogue and connection between Brazilians and global citizens about one question: how can Brazil's private sector contribute the most as a global solution for the climate crisis? This marked our second edition here in Paris, and we want to make this an annual tradition together with the students of INSEAD. I'm very happy to see many familiar faces who were here last year, but also delighted to see many new ones, which means that our community of exchange is growing and therefore becoming more impactful. This is a very important year for Brazil because of COP30, but also for the Brazil-France relationships. It's the year of Brazil in France and the year of France in Brazil. And I hope this event can contribute meaningfully for the climate collaboration between our countries and between Brazil and Europe more broadly. Before we continue, I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude to INSEAD for hosting us, for our sponsors, the speakers, who have agreed to be here very generously, and especially to the organizing team. All of the students that you see with a white t-shirt, they are part of a very hardworking team, passionate about the topic. They're mostly INSEAD MBA students, and they're truly the heart and soul of these initiatives. So beyond that conversation, sparking the climate conversation with the students is something that really moves us to be here. This summit, at its core, is about building connections between our countries, our organizations, and most importantly, about our people. It's about sparking the energy we need to act and collaborate deeply and boldly. And if there's one force that can ignite connection and mobilize people like nothing else, for me, it's collective sports. In the case of Brazil and France, that common passion is football. Yes, there is rivalry, I have to admit. France has been a tough World Cup adversary since 1998. But I want to focus on what unites us through football. And that brings me to someone very special who is with us here today. Someone who embodies the powerful connection between France and Brazil. And it's an honor to welcome Rai, or Rai for the French. Rai is one of the most admired football players in Brazil, having built a legendary career in São Paulo, my beloved team, and the Brazilian national squad. It's enough to say that he was world champion with both, club and country. Between 1993 and 1998, Rai made history in France, leading Paris Saint-Germain through one of its most successful eras. And he is typically named among the greatest players of PSG's history. But Rai is much more than an athlete. He has dedicated decades to important social impact work in Brazil and has played a central role in strengthening the cultural and human ties between France and Brazil over nearly 3 decades. No one personifies the France-Brazil connection better than Rai, in my opinion. On a more personal note, Rai, you've been part of my childhood. So I still remember your goals in Tokyo against Barcelona, and I was in stadium in 1998 when you came back from France to play in the final game against Corinthians, our worst rival. So, in fact, you are one of the reasons I almost pursued the career of a football player instead of being an economist. I'm grateful I didn't. But with that, I really would like to thank you all for being here. Wish you an inspiring and fruitful conference. Now, please join me in welcome Rai. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a very pleasure to be here. Sorry, at that time I'm going to switch to French. I can speak Portuguese if you prefer, but well, as I was presented, I used to play football. I was in the national team in 1994. We were world champion with our São Paulo, and I'm very proud of my career, but not more about, to be a symbol of this relationship between France and Brazil. Now I'm going to speak in French a little bit. Je crois que quand on parle de thèmes si urgents, je vais aussi essayer de mobiliser aussi le milieu sportif pour ça. Moi, j'ai une association, comme on a dit, qui s'appelle Go de Lettres. I have an NGO, a charity called Go de Lettres, qui tem, il y a déjà depuis presque 30 ans. Et nous, on se met de plus en plus dans le thème. Cette année, moi, je vais faire une immersion dans l'Amazonie. J'ai déjà Eliane Brown, une spécialiste qui va m'aider à faire une immersion à l'Amazonie pour se mettre de plus en plus dans le thème, parce que c'est quelque chose d'urgent et tout le monde, toutes les institutions, toute la mobilisation, toute la société civile doit s'y mettre. Je suis très heureux de voir et très optimiste de voir des étudiants, des jeunes qui prennent la main ces thèmes. Et je crois qu'il n'y a pas de solution sans le Brésil et la France. La France comme un des grands représentants de l'Europe, le Brésil comme un grand, peut-être le plus grand représentant de l'Amérique latine, mais surtout 2 pays qui résistent et qui essaient de résister fortement dans les valeurs humaines, dans la valeur de la vie, dans la valeur de la science, de l'éducation. Et je crois que si jamais ces 2 pays ne se mettent pas ensemble, parce qu'aujourd'hui, tous les thèmes deviennent universels, globaux. C'est pour ça qu'on est content de voir ici des représentants, des événements un peu partout dans le monde, parce qu'il n'y a pas de solution non plus sans qu'on se mette ensemble. Et je crois que le Brésil et la France, maintenant qu'il y a une bonne entente, maintenant qu'on a une année des saisons croisées entre le Brésil et la France, je crois que ça peut être un symbole d'un changement des comportements et surtout de renforcer cette résistance des 2 pays pour des valeurs humaines, pour les valeurs pour la vie, les valeurs pour la planète, et qu'avec la COP, ça va être une grande opportunité pour renforcer l'importance du Brésil et aussi renforcer l'importance de cette amitié entre France et Brésil. Tout à l'heure, je dois partir parce que je vais à un événement que c'est Paris-Plage, ça va être la couleur de Brésil. Il va y avoir le lancement. Moi, je suis le parrain de Paris-Plage, Brésil à Paris. Il va y avoir des terrains de sport aussi en face de la mairie. Maintenant, ils appellent la forêt urbaine à la mairie. Donc, on espère que ces genres de gestes puissent changer aussi tout un comportement et qu'on puisse être de plus en plus optimiste, comme je suis aujourd'hui, en étant ici. Merci beaucoup pour l'invitation. Thank you very much.